Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you here to this ceremony this morning. We appreciate y'all being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Burton Webb to get us started.
Good morning and welcome to the University of Pikeville. For many of you, welcome back. It's great to see so many athletes and former athletes here, and it's wonderful to welcome you into this new space, I think, for most of you. How many of you is this your first time in this building? Can I see your hands? What do you think? Is it good? Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Well, I want to recognize a couple of folks who are here today. We have former presidents, Hal Smith and Governor Paul Patton. Would the two of you please stand? Thank you. And we also have a few trustees and former trustees, and I didn't see everybody coming in, so I'm afraid to call you out by name, but if you have been a trustee at this institution, would you please stand? There we go. I thought I saw a few. And then really what we're here for today is to recognize our athletes and our coaches. And I know that I've got several former coaches here. Now, if you're a current coach, chances are you're already standing. I see several of you in the back. But if you're a former coach, would you please stand here? Let's recognize you as well. Right there, good group of folks, good group of folks. I'm assuming that some of you are here to see the fruit of your labor get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that means that I am going to get out of the way. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Dr. Webb, did you notice that every time you asked somebody to stand up, Coach Baird seemed like he was standing?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I just want to make sure you saw that too. We do want to welcome you here. We appreciate you being here and coming to help us honor all these people who are so well deserving today. When Hal Smith was the president here, he used to refer to these people as the tall cotton. And I've never forgotten that, and I agree with that 100%. And this is a special day for these people. It's also a special day for those in the past who have stood on this stage and been appreciated here. So if you're a member of our current Athletics Hall of Fame, will you please stand? Okay, we'll begin with our ceremony this morning. I'm trying to remember everything I've been told to say, and have I said the things I was supposed to, and all along those lines. I guess I have. Okay, we will begin today with Miss Whitney Compton. Whitney was a two-sport athlete at UPIKE, played both basketball and softball. On the hardwood, she averaged 9.3 points and 5.6 rebounds per game in her career, improving year after year. However, Compton's presence was most felt in the pitching circle, where she held a 2.67 earned run average and had 295 strikeouts in her career. She exemplified the definition of a skilled student athlete, studying 3 majors and excelling in 2 sports. And the one thing that's not mentioned here I want to tell you today, Whitney Compton played 2 sports here. She had a triple major, and she was an academic All-American 4 times. Will you please welcome Miss Whitney Compton?
Thank you guys for being here. 191 credit hours. That was the total number of hours that I earned in college. Like Rick mentioned, I was a 2-sport, triple major in communications, English, and religion. If you have me on Facebook, you can still see Rick Bentley, Coach Staggs, Coach Watson. They still like to make fun of me for that. Along the way, I had wonderful professors who taught me a tremendous amount in those classes. However, I truly believe my education and experience is defined by what I learned outside of class and the people that I met during my time on the Hill. Initially, I went to ETSU to play Division I softball. The first class I took there was psychology, along with 150 other students. I was a number and a nobody. If I didn't go to class, the professor could have cared less. So guess what? I didn't go to class. It wasn't long into that first semester that I realized the lifestyle of a big college campus just was not for me. And at the time, my brother was playing baseball here at Pikeville College, and he kept encouraging me and trying to get me to come down here. Coach Watson, who was my coach, my basketball coach here at the time, he had recruited me in high school, and I swore, the one thing I swore I would never do is I would never go to Pikeville College. My dad had coached two girls, one of them's here, who had went here, and we would always come to the home games when we had the chance. And one reason why I wasn't going to come here is I thought Coach Watson was incredibly hateful. Some of you can attest to that probably. I didn't like the idea of only going 45 minutes from home. I didn't think the dorms were, all that when you're 17, 18 years old and you're trying to make a decision. I was really looking at the wrong things and the wrong reasons. But I was struggling at ETSU, and I missed basketball, and I had the opportunity to come here and play both sports. Finally, after some persuasion from my parents, I gave in and I made the switch. And I thank God every day that I made that decision. You see, what makes this place so special is not the quality of the dorms or the size of the university, it's the people. If I didn't show up to class here, I had professors like Chandra Masner who would send me a Facebook message to make sure I was okay and alive. I had the support of professors such as Brigida Anderson, James Browning, and Carol Grizzard, who made class so interesting that I didn't want to miss. I had faculty such as Gia Potter and Mandy Stacy, Bill Baird, who made a point to ensure that I had a good college experience. I was lucky enough to be a part of 2 different teams in my time here. That meant twice the number of teammates and lifelong friends. I definitely wouldn't be receiving this award if it wasn't for them. Finally, I had 2 of the best head coaches in Bill Watson and Robert Staggs, who are also 2 of the best husbands, fathers, and men I know. And Coach Staggs, I'm not going to include the story about the time you fell down the stairs in the dugout at Lindsey Wilson. And we were getting beat so bad that all of us were scared to laugh, but we still laugh about it to this day. But I'm not going to talk about it. There are so many people who work at this campus that should be thanked by not only me, but by all of us. I was always taught to treat a janitor with the same respect as you would treat the CEO. There are people here who influenced me and supported me and probably never even realized the impact that they had. One that I never truly appreciated then, but I definitely do now, is Brad Markham. Is Brad here today by chance? Brad was an assistant in basketball during my 4 years. He sacrificed so much of his time to drive us to games, feed us at Christmas, and was always there to help academically. And it was devastating to hear the recent disease he was diagnosed with. And I just want to say thank you to him for all he did for us. And lastly, in all of my successes, the thing I'm most proud of and blessed with is my family. This last part of the speech is the one I was most nervous to write. I'd like to thank my brother for always pushing me and being there for me. Also, I'd like to note that I have always outscored you in basketball. Thank you to you and Alice both for sharing Zoe and Mila and Jet with me. I'm probably more proud of them than anything. Thank you to my 86-year-old grandmother, who's always been here to support me and take care of me. And she's even lined out a few referees in her time as well. I'm so happy that she can be here to see this. And finally, to my mom and dad. Dad, you're the best coach I've ever had. You're the best man I've ever known. You're the best father, husband, and grandfather. And I wouldn't be getting this award if it wasn't for you. You sacrificed so much to help me as an athlete. whether it was driving 7 hours for me to play with my travel ball team or giving up free time to work with me in the gym. Some nights when I was in college, he would even drive to watch me play at Georgetown on a Thursday and then go to work as a teacher early on Friday morning, and you'll never hear him complain. To my mom, who is truly my best friend, thank you for always being here and making sure I have everything I need. You're the best person I know and by far the strongest. My mom has an autoimmune disease that should have probably prevented her from ever traveling to any of my college games, but she never missed, ever. Even if she had to sleep in the backseat of the car on the way home. I thank God you're always there, and you'll never know how much that meant to me. So thank you to you both. This induction may have my name on it, but it's yours as well. I couldn't have done it without you two. In 2016, my brother was inducted into the Hall of Fame for baseball. Mom and Dad, now your favorite child is inducted as well. With that being said, thank you to Kelly Wells and the Hall of Fame committee for this honor. You'll never know how much this award and Pikeville College truly means to me. Thank you.
Jordan, you'll always have bragging rights. You went first. The problem is she gets last try at the microphone. And does anybody have a pen? Stags falling down the steps at, I know we'll be talking about a lunch on Monday now, for sure. Our next inductee will be Terry Hawkins. You want to do it for him? Okay. All right. So Tyrone's going to speak for him. Terry Hawkins was a member of the Bears basketball team from 1974 to 1978, often regarded as one of the best six men in Bears history. Hawkins was a force off the bench and carried the stats of a starter. Hawkins hit the game-winning shot in the 1975 KIAC Conference Championship, which started a string of 3 straight conference titles. Tyrone, come on up.
Good morning, good afternoon. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me here, Coach Wells and the rest of the athletic department. But this is about Terry right now. Terry was a elementary kid of mine. And for some of you guys that was here when Coach Martin and Coach Adams and Coach McCoy came to get us, it was known as the 3 T's, Tyrone, Terry, and Tompkins. Terry's not here, but the other part of the 3 T's that didn't stay, my cousin Sam Tompkins, which is now Reverend Sam Tompkins, right over here to my right. Sam, stand up. Coach Martin, I don't think you've seen him come in, but there he is. He ended up going to Shawnee State, but hey, we've still been close ever since, and I always talked about Pikeville. I've never strayed away from him, no matter how many times I didn't come here. But with Terry was one of the best players I played with coming up, elementary, junior high, high school, and college. And like he said, it was down to the wire. 6 seconds to go, never forget it. Jimmy Kerr, we had to come full length of the court, ball taken out, thrown to Jimmy Kerr passed it to Terry. Terry hit the last second shot on the right side of the lane. Boom, from there on, the next 3 years was ours. We won everything, and we done it with class, and we enjoyed it. And I want to thank Terry for getting us on the way, and I appreciate it, and I know he'll appreciate this moment as well. Thank you. I guess I have to go nowhere since it's my turn. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank the man up above, course, this was back in the 70s, but you never forget to give thanks to where it all began. I enjoyed it. People might question me back in the day, Tyrone, why'd you pick Pikeville? Not because of Pikeville College. I picked it because the people that came to get me to come to Pikeville College, which is my coach, Wayne Martin, Coach Adams, Randy McCoy. A lot of you may not know back in the day, Randy McCoy was our manager, but he was around some of the best coaches that gave him the knowledge of what he was, along with Happy Osborne. A lot of you would know him. They learned the game. You don't have to always play the game to know the game. He done a wonderful job after becoming a coach here and in high school, and I just want to give thanks to those guys over there, because they made me what I was when I got here. Of course, Coach Martin, I heard him talking about coaches falling, coaches doing this. We took a trip a while back to Poland. We had a great team. We took a 23-day trip, played 12 games. We played in a tournament where we had a couple of teams from the United States, a couple of teams from other countries. We won. We was winning the game, folks. This is the type of coach I have. That 99 out there, that used to be punishment sometimes. Running up and down there wasn't no joke. But anyway, we in the locker room. Coach Martin, I mean, you know, no matter how good you play, and that's great that you find something wrong with what you're doing. He found something wrong. And to me, I wish they'd have kept him in Poland for real. Because we went in the locker room, and Coach, do you realize he goes in there and he done found something wrong. He goes in, there's a sink over here. He yanks a sink out the wall. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Coach? I'm like, wow, we up like 15 some points or whatever. I mean, he's going off in here. But that's what it takes. You folks that are still in school right now, doing what you do, playing basketball, baseball, soccer, tiddlywinks, whatever it is. If a coach hollers at you, don't get upset and go home. Mama, he hollered at me, she hollered at me. Who cares? That's what makes you better than what you are. You may not ever be the best. You may not ever go on. I went overseas, but I always felt God didn't put me here to make a whole lot of money. He put me here to do what I do best. I learned a lot of it here at Pikeville. Working with kids is what I do and what I've done for over 40 years. That's a blessing to me. The ability is second. The talent I had was second to what I did afterwards when it comes to working with kids. I love kids and women in that order. But anyway, I want to give thanks to Coach Wells. Ever since I met this guy, I felt like I played for him, you know, since I met him. We talk on the phone, we communicate, and when he called me about this here, I was like, honey, I wonder what Coach Wells doing texting me this time of night. He said, call me when you get a chance. I hurried up and called him to see what it was all about. And when he told me that, I cried for a week. My old lady will tell you, every time I talked about it, tears ran. I said, I saw Miss Compton sit up here and shed a little tear. I said, I might not feel too bad if I shed a tear now. But it's over. I'm happy for it. I love Pikeville. And people say, well, Tyrone, your car is full of UK. Didn't you go to Pikeville? Yeah, I went to Pikeville. And I love Pikeville. I love Pikeville and I love UK second. So don't never think, no matter how many times I'm able to come here or don't come here, believe it, Pikeville's here. I wear my Pikeville attire all the time. I wear UK attire all the time. I have no problems with it. So wherever you go in life, be blessed and thankful that people are here behind you. And I can tell that people are behind Pikeville University over the past years that I've been in existence with it. And I want all athletes, if there's any here, coaches, whatever, keep in touch with your other side. And my family's here, my lady, my brothers, my sisters, brother-in-laws. My brother Joe's here. He spoke at a camp. He played in the ABA days. But so on for that. But I'm happy, and thank you, and be blessed.
Coach Martin, I think after the beating you and Coach Staggs have taken, we're going to have to add rebuttal time to these speeches. Listen, Tyrone jumped the gun on me and got up here, but I do want to read what it says on his plaque. Tyrone Dunn was a member of the Bears men's basketball team from 1974 to 78. Across the sophomore and junior years, Tyrone strung together back-to-back 500-point seasons. He was a four-time all-conference player and was the conference player of the year as a sophomore, the youngest to ever receive that honor. In addition, he was a two-time NAIA All-American. Congratulations, Tyrone. Trevor Hoskins was the starting quarterback for the Bears from 2010 to 2012. After transferring from Eastern Kentucky University, he rewrote the entire UPIKE record book. Every passing record still stands, including career yards, 7,481, career touchdowns, 62, and completions, 553. Hoskins graduated from UPIKE in 2013 with a communication degree. I want to tell you that as his SID, it was a thrill. It was a blessing to get to be the person who went around and wrote stories about this guy who once had a game where he threw for over 600 yards in a single football game. The records that you keep for quarterbacks, attempts, completions, yards, touchdowns in a game, in a season, in a career, he owns every single one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Hoskins.
Oh, well, first off, I want to thank God. Without him, I've been extremely blessed to play this game that I love as long as I have, and to be put in a situation that I've been put in. I don't really have a speech prepared per se. I don't know if that may surprise Miss Masner. I don't know. But as coaches here, we always tell our guys that to make sure that you're calling home and thanking somebody that helped you get to where you are. I'm no different. There's been a lot of people that's helped me along the way to help me be able to stand here today. First off, all my former teammates. Like any award or achievement in football, there's no individual awards. I owe standing up here to a lot of my teammates. I had an incredible offensive line, some amazing receivers, running backs, and coaches that allowed me to be up here today, so I want to thank them. To my mom and dad, you all have sacrificed so much for me to be able to live the life that I have and be able to put in a situation to be able to do the things that I've done. I really appreciate that. My mom is my biggest fan. If you were to ask her, she'll probably tell you that I never thrown an interception that was my fault. It was always somebody else. Extremely just always there for me. I can count on one hand the number of games they've missed. Started playing this game when I was 4 years old, all the way through my college career, and they've been to pretty much every one of them, so thank you. My dad was my first coach, started coaching me in youth ball. I remember me and him being out in the yard working on some quarterback drills, as young as 5 years old. Those are things that I still think back on a lot. And Dad, most importantly, you taught me how to play the game, but more importantly than that, you taught me how to be a man, so thank you all. I want to say thank you to Coach Holland. Coach Holland and I go way back to my EKU days as I came in as a freshman. He kind of took me under his wing, per se. He taught me the offense, taught me the college game, and we kind of remained close ever since. He got the job as an offensive coordinator here, and I came along and followed him. As a coach, you go through and you pick up things as you go from all the people that you've played for, been around, and I can honestly say that no one has been more instrumental in my development as a player or as a coach than Coach Holland is, so thank you. My beautiful wife, Bailey, who played volleyball here, we met here at the University of Pikeville, and she's been super supportive. Coaching, playing, she's been to pretty much every game. also handling her business in pharmacy school and graduating from here as well. So thank you for being so supportive, and probably the only person I know that's just as competitive as I am. And most importantly, the UPIKE family. I say family because this university and this place truly is a family, as most people have said. You know, I met Rick Bentley my first few days here on campus. As he said, he was the SID then. From that point on, we had something in common with where I was from, and you know, we've always kept in touch. Even when I went away for a few years before I came back here to coach, we always kept in touch. He's an extremely nice person, and he's the example of why this place is a family. Shaner Masner, I have to thank you. Coming here, it was a little bit different than EKU. It was smaller class sizes, and you know, it took some adjusting. We'll just say that. But you were always extremely helpful. You were my advisor, and also as a comm major, I felt like I had you for like a million classes. But I definitely want to say thank you for always helping me, keeping me on track, and and I think Whitney said it best, just if something was wrong, you were always right there, messaging me, making sure everything was good. So thank you very much. The most important thing is coming back here now, playing here and coming back to coach, is I have a lot of pride in this place. And the reason is because it truly is a family atmosphere. I take pride in waking up every day, coming to coach these student athletes, and making sure that they get to have the same experience that I had as a player here. This isn't just a university, it's not just a city. It truly is a family built on great people. And I try every day to make sure that our student athletes are getting that same experience. So thank you to everyone who made this possible. It's truly an honor. I'm extremely humbled. And Pikeville just isn't a city. The university just isn't a place. It truly is a family, and thank you so much.
Trevor is from Middlesboro in Bell County, Kentucky. My mother is from Calvin in Bell County, Kentucky. So the first conversation we had, we bonded over that, and it's been a truly special relationship since. Our next inductee is Hillary Mussman, and Hillary is not here today. She is a volleyball coach in the state of Washington, and her season is still going on, and she was not able to be here. But I do want to read to you the information about Hillary. Hillary Mussman was a libero on the UPIKE volleyball team from 2005 to 2008 and was a two-time All-Mid-South Conference Honorable Mention member. She was also a member of the 2008 NAIA Scholar Athlete team. Across her career, Mussman tallied over 2,000 digs, which set a school record. So congratulations to Hillary Mussman. Our final individual going into the Hall of Fame today is Miss Kim Eulis, who was a member of the UPIKE women's bowling team from 2009 to 2012 and was a member of the 2012 National Championship team. Eulis was a two-time NAIA Bowler of the Year, a three-time NCBCA, the Coaches Association All-American, and runner-up for National Bowler of the Year. She won 3 individual titles in her senior season and was the only NAIA bowler to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Kim Eulis.
Good morning. It's an absolute honor to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame today alongside my teammates. I'm so excited to be back in Pikeville for the first time since 2012, and boy has it changed. But before I talk about my 4 years on campus and with my teammates, I want to start with the first time I met Ron Damron. I first met Ron in July 2007 at a national bowling tournament in Buffalo, New York. Ron was introduced to me and my family by fellow Pikeville College alumni Sarah Germano. By the end of the tournament, I agreed to take a trip down to Pikeville. When I first arrived, I was surprised at how small the campus was and the number of students that attended. However, it was perfect for me, and I instantly knew I had found my new home. During my recruiting trip, I remember Ron telling me that it never snows here as a way to persuade me to come to Pikeville. And after growing up in Western New York, not having to deal with snow for a few years sounded like a nice change of pace. Turns out that isn't true after all. Thanks, Ron. Like I'm sure it was for most of you, moving 9 hours away from the comfort of your home to a small little dorm room was a big change. But with the help of my teammates, coaches, and parents, it was a smooth transition. As a student here, I loved the small class sizes and having professors that knew you by name rather than just another student in the class. I've always been grateful that they were willing to work with our travel schedule and would ask about how our tournaments went when we returned. Over my 4 years on campus and as a student athlete, I achieved many goals and created so many great memories with my teammates. I got my first taste of the incredible environment that is college bowling as a freshman at our home tournament called the Orange and Black Classic. The energy in the bowling alley was incredible. The creative cheers that teams came up with, including ourselves, were entertaining. I learned to prepare myself for high fives that made our hands sting, long weekends of standing, constant screaming, and unexpected slaps on my butt from teammates. There is nothing better than team bowling. In fact, as I look back as my time as a collegiate athlete, I realize that while I have made many memories from competing in bowling itself, collegiate bowling and collegiate athletics in general isn't 100% about competing in your sport. It's about your teammates, the long van rides to tournaments, everyone singing at the top of their lungs the songs on the radio, playing Tetris to get all of the equipment into the van, and the lasting lifelong friendships being forged in all of those moments. Oh, and you can't forget the times when Ron locked the keys into the van when it was still running. And no, he didn't just do it one time. The opportunity to wear orange and black and Pikeville on my back for 4 years was a tremendous honor. I will always be proud of, and one that I will never forget. Over my 4 years representing Pikeville, I was fortunate to earn many individual awards. But while those awards had my name on them, each of those also belonged to my teammates and coaches, who always pushed me to be better, supported me through tough times, lifted me up after disappointments, and celebrated with me during the good times. Because without all of you, I would have never been able to achieve the accolades I did. While it's an incredible honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as an individual, nothing compares to the pride that I have to be part of a team that was able to bring home an NAIA championship to Pikeville. I will always be a proud UPIKE Bear. Thank you.
Kim, I got to tell you a couple of things. While you were talking, Coach Staggs looked at me and said, "I can't believe she speaks." And also, a minute ago I mentioned that we're going to have to start giving rebuttal time to the coaches. Kim, you're about to learn that lesson the hard way. But first, the 2011 men's basketball team. Will the members of that team who are here, please stand up? If you're on that national championship team. Arguably the most famous team in UPIKE history. The 2011 men's basketball team became the second program in university history to win an NAIA championship. The Bears went 30-7 and 13-5 in the Mid-South Conference before storming through the tournament. Led by Vance Cooksey and Quincy Hankins Cole, the Bears had a Cinderella story, advancing through the bracket as an unseeded team, defeating the 9th, 8th, 1st, 5th, and 3rd seeds to win the championship. UPIKE clinched the title by winning an 83-76 overtime thriller over Mountain State. And I want to tell you, and I don't mean any disrespect to the other teams that have been a part of the, have won national champions here, because Lord knows they were all great in their own right, but it was truly one of the great honors of my life to be the guy who sat at the microphone and told all the people back here what was going on in Kansas City that week. It was an honor that I'll never forget. And I'll be honest with you, on the championship day, our sports director at the time, Andrew Joyce, was out there, and he asked me what was wrong. And I told him that's what was bothering me, that there were so many people, the Bob Tarbacks and Keith Casebolts, who had done this and didn't get a chance to call a championship game. Why was it me? Why was it my turn? Sometimes you're blessed to be in the right person in the right place with the right group of people, and Lord knows we had that with that particular team, with Kelly Wells and the entire group on down the line. It was truly an honor, and it is my privilege to induct into this Hall of Fame the 2011 National Champions men's basketball team. Come on up, guys.
All right, those parents that are here of these young men or significant others and your children, all those kind of things, would you all please stand, be recognized, please, these young folks? I have to turn this mic over to somebody. All right. One of our mottos of this group that I think you'll find as you meet them and talk to them through the whole experience was being all in. That was kind of our mantra, and we actually printed it on our rings. It was not something we just verbalized. It was nothing we just said. It truly was what this team was about. They were all in. They all had different roles. None were more significant than others. We had guys that scored more points. We had guys that checked curfew. We had guys that did all different kinds of things, but every piece of that was important. Not only the fact that they are great young men, and outside of my wife and my children and my parents, these are the most special dudes that I know. And in coaching, you get opportunities to change lives and to be a part of things. And then there's other times where people change your life. There's no question that this group of folks have changed my life. hopefully we've had a small influence on them, but the things I do today really are generated by what these young men have become in my life. We had some tough times together. We shared a lot of great memories. But one thing that will never separate this group is the fact that they are national champions. And everywhere they go, they get an opportunity to hold their head high. They represent that daily, weekly on the right way. So proud of each piece of them. And a term I use of this group is considered a coaching paycheck. We all have a job we get that has absolutely nothing to do with pay, but the coaching paycheck is when I see Josh Whitaker carry his child in, and I see these young men turn into great husbands and great people and great men. That's what it's about for me. I didn't wear my ring today. I know some of you guys did, and that's awesome. But I wanted these guys to know that that's just a piece of what we did together, but that's not anything to do with why I love these guys behind me. Not anything at all. We were the Golden State Warriors before there were the Golden State Warriors. Our style of play was a little unique. Some days we as coaches sat back and figured out how we're going to win significantly, and really didn't have what we consider a great year till we got going towards the end of the year. And you know, the records show that we played nothing but seeded teams while we were down there. We actually played a defense in the national tournament we had not played one possession of throughout the entire season. And if you look at some of the competition we played, we just said, hey guys, we're going to have to play a little zone and do the old and stand back a little bit and see what we can do if we can outscore people. And we did. We outscored people by a significant amount. And this bunch hated to lose. They didn't like to lose. You could see it in their face. And you know, Rick portrayed it coming back to the public here that this group wasn't going to be defeated. We got down significantly against Martin Methodist, and halftime really didn't have a lot of hope. This bunch had the hope we needed, and came back and had a great win, got into the finals, and got into overtime, and the rest was history after we got into overtime with the play of these young men. Joyce Pinson put it really well. She wrote an article that Coach Compton and I go back. Friends of the Drift In is her little website, and we go back every year just to kind of read it. It's a little bit long, so I'm going to paraphrase and just use a couple clippets out of it. She called us the little train that could. I don't like to be little in anything, but certainly that was her analogy, the little train that could. And she's talking about how she loves the underdog. There's no question we were the underdog in this tournament, and she pointed out several things of lessons that she learned, and I think they're perfect and appropriate for what we're doing today. Number one, no matter the odds, underdogs can prevail, and we did. In the face of adversity, stay focused. Patience paid off. We could share personal stories from each one of us of what we went through that season and how we lifted each other, and we certainly persevered through a lot of heartaches, and the good Lord looked after us that entire season. But perseverance is something that pays off. It's about the team. It's about the staff. It's about the band. It's about the cheerleaders. It's about some hillbilly fans that brought into an impossible dream. No question, when I sat in the interview committee here, when Hal Smith and Ron Dameron hired me for this job, one of the things I talked about was winning a national championship. Some of those conversations got some eyebrows and some lookups, and we truly have that goal every year that we tip it up, that we want to win a national championship. This group just figured out a way to overcome my coaching and find a way to do it. The Cinderella Express rolled back into town when this was all said and done, and we were met in Prestonsburg with fans, and we came back to UPIKE Gym, and we had a great ceremony. And there really hasn't been a day goes by that I don't significantly think of each one of these young men, or I send them a text, or I call them, or they call me. And the amount of pride I have standing here today, probably outside of my two kids being born, don't know where else you could go from here. But thank you for this honor. These guys are extremely blessed. They are proud of their school. UPIKE proud. Back then, Pikeville College proud, but they were the last team to win a national championship as Pikeville College. So we honor our past for sure, but tradition never graduates. We'll keep it rolling. All right, thank you. Let's see if we can get right here. Let's everybody get a flash. We're going to have to get this little area. Big guys in the back, short guys in the front.
Get in the front, y'all.
Get up there, brother.
Okay, now he's at 6'3".
Dusty's got it right.
Beard. Beard's
Everybody display, please. 1, 2. Thank you so much.
That's tough. I ain't seen that.
Test, test.
It died.
One of the things that we were so proud about with that team was that the fact that they were unseeded and were the first team, the only team to ever win a national championship, beating 5 seeded teams. And now that they've changed the way they do it, we will forever be the only team to ever win a national championship and beat 5 seeded teams en route to doing that. So congratulations to that team. And finally, our 2012 women's bowling team. The 2012 women's bowling team made history, winning the Powerhouse program's first NAIA championship, led by 2-time NAIA Bowler of the Year Kim Eulis, the NAIA First Team All-American Brandy Hensley. UPIKE opened the season as #1 in the coaches poll and cruised through the season, earning the #3 seed in the NAIA tournament. At the tournament, UPIKE defeated Weber International, a team to which they had previously lost twice to claim the title. The Bears also finished 7th later that spring in the USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships. So I get the privilege of going to national tournaments. It's one of my great things. By the way, if you're here with that team, will you please stand? One of the beauties of getting to do that is I get to know these people. I get to know them personally and what makes them tick. Maybe push them a little bit, or Lord knows I wasn't coaching them, but I was trying to just get to know them and be a part of their family and try to stay out of the way as best I could on their run to championships. It was a cold morning that day, I do remember that. And it was, and listen, one thing about going to bowling tournaments with Ron is you don't miss anything. Because when you go to bowling tournaments with Ron, you're the first people through the door most of the time. And so we were always there early and always got to be a part of it. And it was great to be there. The beauty of that basketball team that we honored a minute ago, though, was that year we played the first game of the tournament. And we played the last game of the tournament. And that's something I'll never forget. And you can say the same for being with the bowling team. We were always there early. But the beauty of it is we were usually the ones hanging around at the end too. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Ron Dameron and the 2012 Women's Bowling National Champions.
while this group of young ladies is getting here, I'd like to take a second or two to thank our presenting sponsor today, Pike County Farm Bureau. They have signed on to be the presenting sponsor for our UPIKE Athletic Hall of Fame for the next several years. So I'd like the members of the Board of Directors that are here from the Pike County Farm Bureau to stand to be recognized. Thank you. And thanks to Pike County Farm Bureau. Okay, I have 18 names and 19 girls. I have no clue which one I'm missing here. But anyway, I tried to see them. I want to go back, and I told Kelly I wouldn't take any longer than he did, so I've got to hurry through this. But I want to talk a little bit about 19 and 4. 2004, my fault, 2004. They kind of set the standard for the women's bowling team by winning the first national championship here at Pikeville. Is this working? Here at Pikeville, okay. The 2004 group kind of set the stage for the women's bowling program here at Pikeville. And then we go to 2008, we go through the things. In 2005, we lose in the Final Four. 6, 7, 8. 2008 continues to run to the national championships here. And just to let you know, we do have people from those years that are in attendance here today. And we just thank you guys for still supporting us and coming back and doing those things. But I want to go back a little bit earlier than that for one thing. You know, other than men's basketball in the 1970s with Coach Martin and the people that were here as introductions today, in 2001, our basketball team made the Final Four in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I think that trip to Tulsa showed that the athletic program at the University of Pikeville College at the time, could be competitive on a national level. That was 2001. 2004, we win a national championship. So we are competitive with that. So we go on, let's talk about, we've got 8, we go up to 2012. This team has the distinction of being the only team that I've coached to end the year ranked number 1 in the polls. So congratulations, girls, with that. But we go. And as I talk just a second about this team and this group, 2 things I want to tell you. One is that their motto was believe, simply believe. And they did. We have 19 here today. We started this program with 26 young ladies in 2011, in the fall of 2011. Out of those 26 people, we had one young lady leave after the first semester. She left us. Too bad, right? So we're down to 25. Out of those 25, 2 more transferred eventually, one after 3 years and one after a year. Those 2 went on to graduate from the colleges that they transferred to, which is very, very good. That leaves us with 23. 19 of those girls are here today out of the 23. The best record that we can ever say, out of those 23 girls, all 23 graduated from the University of Pikeville. That's amazing. And I think you can definitely say that this group loves the University of Pikeville. They're here. Now let's talk a little about the tournament. We go in, we have qualifying for the seeding. I don't remember who we play first. Rick probably knows that. But I know we get to the Final Four, and we lose to Weber International. That puts us in the losers bracket. So they call it a contenders bracket now because they don't like the negative term losers. But basically, you get in it by losing, so it's still a losers bracket, you know. The other thing, but we're playing a school that's from Illinois. And it's the best of 5. You got to remember, you play 5 games, best of 5. So we're 2-2 going out. The loser goes home, the winner goes on to the winner's bracket, the other bracket. Then after that, we're 2-2. We come down to the last frame of the game, and we are down 9 pins. If we get 10, we win by 1. If we get 9, we have to play another game. If we get 8, we go home. That's our second loss. So the young lady that was presented in the Hall of Fame here, which was Kim today, she had the ball in her hand for the last shot of the deal. And it was so tense. Everything was real quiet, you know. So I go up to Kim and I said, Kim, I said, if you want to ride home, you better get 10. She got to ride home, okay? So we got to do that. But we go on and have to play Weber International again, and we have to beat them twice. That just kind of loosened the whole mood. The first game we were 3-0. Then the second time we beat them 3-1. So we came home with the national championship, and that made it. But this group is great. They're here. They're a team, and Kim talked about the team in her things that we had. This group of girls here today are 12 different states recognized when they came here to play. You know, just a tremendous thing, and they molded into one of the groups that kind of love each other, and you kind of tell that by just showing up and doing this. The guys, one of the greatest groups I've ever had, and the thing that they did since 2012, when they won the national championship, in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, the last 2 years under Coach Bobby Brown, who took over after I did. For those 7 straight seasons, University of Pikeville has bowled in the national championship finals. That is an amazing record. I don't think any team in the country can say that anymore. So this team, with that, we can go back and look at ones. They started the trend. You know, the 2019 team coming up next year, they got to get in the national finals, or they're going to stop the record that we have going on here. So anyway, thank you guys so much.
I wish I could tell the crazy one where I was like, and I was like, that should be done the crazy. Okay. Here, Malia. Oh, thank you. You forgot Kim. Anybody need
We'll take them right after this.
Okay. Thanks. Are we good? Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait! No, I know you guys are like that man right there. Everyone else. This is my Stop, I can't. You're gonna make me get out of character.
Okay, we have a couple of more. Forget it. Okay, we have a couple more groups we want to recognize as part of our Honorary Hall of Fame. And this is something that we probably started 15, 18 years ago. There are people who play significant roles in what we do here who never put on a uniform, and they never are, we didn't have an opportunity to recognize them in a scenario like this, and they deserve the honors and the recognition that they get. And the first one is my buddy John Gump Bevins. Where you at, Gump? Here he is. Come on up. So I don't even remember how long it's been that Gump's been our shot clock guy at basketball. And one of the problems that we always had, a hole we always had, was having a play clock at football. And we finally figured out the best thing to do is get Gump to do that too. He's reliable. He's always there. We appreciate everything that he does for us. He pitched for us here, by the way. He's on our baseball team here at Pikeville College at the time. And we really appreciate Gump Bevins. I want you to know that, brother. By the way, at our table and in our press box, we have a PA guy, Vernon White, who is here. We have our scoreboard operator, Paul Hunt, and Gump, and all of them are in our Hall of Fame now. So we really, listen, they're going to ask for pay raises over there at the table. So I just want to let Kelly know that. You got that. This next group, I'm really happy that we're honoring today because I kind of part of them. They haven't fired me in 30 years at the newspaper. Somehow or another, I don't understand that. But when we started posting things about this ceremony and about this basketball team, we heard from Justin, who was with us, who is a preacher now up in the northeast part of the state. He was out in Kansas City with us, representing the News Express. And Randy's been there with us, representing the News Express. And I'm blessed to get to write a column for them when we're in situations like that too, for the News Express. It's important to have a great relationship with your local media. And we have a tremendous relationship with our local media, and it starts at the very top. So will you come forward, the publisher of the paper, Jeff Vanderbeck, and the sports editor of the paper, Randy White? Come on up, brother.
First of all, whoever said there's no crying in baseball was dead wrong. And I would take the Triple T's and Whitney and take on your team any day. We'd lose, but you guys were great ball players. I appreciate you. Whitney, great job. You all appreciate it. And I can't tell you how hard I worked in the weight room to get this honor today. I've spent so much time in the weight room to get this honor and on the ball fields, and I have to thank my wife for putting up with all the times away. And it was so hard, and Randy will tell you, we've spent hours and hours and hours just over the stuff that we have to do to get this award today, and the sweat and the tears that we've shed. But it's truly an honor, and the relationship we have with the University of Pikeville is fabulous, and I'd like to take the credit, but as I tell my employees and everybody who works with me, and even the community members, if our newspaper and our media source had to rely on me for their success, we'd be in a lot of trouble. And I am honored for this, and I'm honored to have people like Randy who are visionaries and just have fantastic ideas. And I have hired several UPIKE graduates who have done fantastic, phenomenal things. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for this university. Thank you.
Well, before Rick comes back and gives you closing comments, I would be remiss if I didn't mention at least two things. First of all, we need to thank the Board of Directors and staff of the Pike County Farm Bureau for being our presenting sponsors today. They've agreed to be the presenting sponsors for the Hall of Fame, I believe for the next 5 years. Is that right? 5 years. And that's just a tremendous commitment. We're very thankful for them. And I think there's some members of the Pike County Farm Bureau who are here. Would you please stand if you're here? There they are. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then the last thing I want to mention is not anything that happened today. It's something that happened about 25 years ago and then had its celebration last night. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, our head coach and athletic director, Kelly Wells, was inducted into the Moorhead Hall of Fame last night, and I want you to give him a round of applause too as well. Kelly, please stand.
Okay, I think I've got it all done except for two things. If you have been on this stage today, please hang around. We're going to get some more pictures. And also on your ticket, if you have one, it says that those who are coming to our luncheon today, it has been located in 2 or 3 different places. It's right next door. So there you go. I don't care why you're here today, thank you for being here with us, and thank you for helping us honor these people. As somebody who has been honored here for God knows what reason, I want you to know how much it means to them because I know how much it meant to me. So thank you all for coming. God bless you all. The game starts at 6 o'clock tonight. 4 o'clock we'll have the tailgating that'll begin, and that's all free once you get in the game. It's no big deal. And also the volleyball team plays at 1, so if you don't have anything to do, go down and support that volleyball team. And did you say for me to bless the food? Will you bow your heads with me, please? Our Father, we're thankful, dear Lord, for this school. We're thankful, dear Lord, for so much that you provide for us. And for these people, dear Lord, who are here to honor or to be honored, Father, we're thankful for them. Lord, we ask you to bless this food, that it be used to nourish our body. And Father, we ask that you use us, dear Lord, as your humble servants throughout our lives today, dear Father. Lord, we want you to know that we love you today. We thank you for all you do and all that you mean. But mostly, Father, we thank you for Jesus. And we ask all this in his name. Amen. God bless you all. Thank you.